Layers of dried oil paint, left untouched for 20 years. It's as if time stopped the moment Elodie laid down her brush. Feels like the room's holding its breath, waiting for something to stir. A grand ship on the open sea. Looks like the last painting Elodie was working on was of a ship at sea. The whole gallery is filled with maritime references. She seemed quite obsessed with it. The sinking of a ship. A man with his back turned, watching a ship go down. This door appears to lead out to the back garden. Locked with a padlock. I'll need to find the key. Looks like some sort of clue. Trace the tree's journey from birth to decay. Follow the path of the artist in a thoughtful display. Arrange the 4 stages and the door will obey. Unlock the path ahead as art lights your way. Lady Margaret took special care to secure the house, restricting access to certain areas. This looks like Elodie's diary. Let's see what her last entries reveal.
I'm absolutely over the moon. Walter has written to say he is coming. I met him at the Western Sanatorium, and we have grown so very close. He was there recovering from the trauma of a shipwreck, where he tragically lost his companions. By sheer luck, he was rescued, but not before spending an entire year on an island living amongst the natives. He truly is an adventurer.
A young woman screaming in the middle of the darkness.
I'm so happy. Walter has finally arrived. I must admit, I am utterly captivated by him. I invited him to visit, and he gave me his word he wouldn't fail to come as soon as he was able to leave. And now he's finally here. I can scarcely contain my joy. It feels as though all the darkness has faded away.
looked so in love. So happy. I wonder what became of Walter after Elodie died. Looks like a commercial seaman's yearbook, listing ships and their crews. It's open to the pages under S.
Damn it, it's not here. It's simply not here.
This must be the Countess's handwriting. What was she searching for? Locked, as expected. There's a metal engraving of a tree. Those poor souls. Tragedy seems to have cast a long shadow over this family. Some of these paintings are really dark and sinister. A boarded-up door. The access to the servants' quarters appears to be blocked for some reason. Something definitely happened here. Was it a struggle? Some of these tools have been bent, likely trampled over. A silver knife is missing, and it's nowhere to be found. Likely taken by the same person who caused all this destruction. These broken chairs. Someone must have held them to the ground with great force. It looks like this vase was shattered. not just dropped, but smashed with intent. Looks like the crowbar is broken. Lady Margaret, after the death of her daughter, dismissed the staff and left the mansion. A pair of blood-stained scissors stuck in the sink basin. Deeply unsettling. A good way to motivate the staff. No doubt, this is the cook's room. A doll pierced with an awl. A warning? A backgammon board. One of the oldest board games. Miss Marver apparently knew her way around the tarot. What a dreadful spread, and what a chilling omen it revealed. Evil approaches. It will bring death, and lay ruin to the house and all who dwell within. Is there someone else in the house? Who the devil is that man? He had a knife. I'm completely in the dark here. I don't think he saw me. Another boarded-up door. The question is, was it sealed before the murder? And why? This must be Walter Brandon's room. The diary of Walter Brandon. Perhaps it holds some clues about who he was, and what his involvement in this case might be.
I am terrified that man has found me. I fear something dreadful is about to happen. Tonight as I awoke, I saw him, standing at the foot of my bed. I could not make out his face, but his knife. The gleam of its blade shone in the darkness. I sprang up suddenly, determined to confront this stranger. Grabbing the heavy candlestick from the nightstand, I hurled it with all my strength. He vanished into the dark.
What on earth happened? Did Walter also see the mysterious man with the knife? It's absurd. This occurred 20 years ago. Surely that man can't still be lurking about. Can he?
Coming here was a grave mistake. He has followed me, watching and lurking in dark corners, waiting to surprise me. I dare not tell Elodie. she would think the one thing I dread most for her to believe. I see him again from the window, watching me. His long hair and beard obscure his face, and he still holds that knife. He means to kill me.
The painting of a ship, unmistakably in Elodie's style.
I am losing my faculties. It is best I return to the ship. Everyone seems to be conspiring against me. The housekeeper despises me, accusing me of misconduct. Perhaps I'm not a man of refinement, but I know what respect is. Yet this morning, as I awoke from my rest, she was enraged with me. It was of no use to tell her I had slept peacefully. An external maid who comes to clean was crying and accusing me of having approached her in an unseemly manner. I would never do such a thing. I am a sailor, a man of the world. I know how to conduct myself.
A model ship. Mr. Brandon must have felt a deep yearning for the sea. An empty bottle. It smells of good rum. A compass and a sextant. Tools of a sailor. The last entry in the diary, dated the very night of the murder.
My beloved Elodie, why can you not believe this poor sailor who only wishes to love you? I have left everything behind. My ship, the sea, all my world, just to be by your side as you asked me to. Damn it. I can hear the man with the knife coming up the stairs from the hall. I need to hide.
Walter was terrified. What in the devil was happening here? It seems this trunk was all Walter owned. I should take a look at it. Looks like the key to the back garden. I better head back to the staircase gallery. Pretty sure I saw a door to the outside there. A photograph of Elodie. No doubt Walter cared for her deeply. Seems I'm not the only one with a fondness for hats. killer likely fled through the rear door of the house. It's clear that the man who killed Elodie discarded his blood-stained clothing during his escape. A filthy coat, soaked in some kind of blackened, hardened liquid, aged over time. Here's the missing kitchen knife, undoubtedly the murder weapon. Despite his injuries, the killer rid himself of anything that might incriminate him before fleeing the scene. The boots, the coat, even the knife. It's a chilling thought, but those very items remind me of the figure seen lurking near the manor, the same figure Walter Brandon spoke of with such dread, and perhaps the very one who was said to have harassed the maids. That mysterious presence was, in all likelihood, the murderer of Lady Fordside. This ought to do the trick for that boarded-up room upstairs, just by Walter Brandon's room. At that old fountain in the garden, now little more than a basin of stagnant water, one can still make out the faint impressions of bloodied hands. It seems almost certain the killer stopped here, in a hurried attempt to wash away some of the blood spattered across his body. The gate still bears the macabre traces of that old tragedy, like a silent witness, pointing to the path taken by that murderous beast. Unlabeled liquor bottles. The damp and the passing years have likely worn away whatever once marked them. There's a distinct scent of wormwood, the plant at the heart of absinthe. Thujone, its active compound, could provoke hallucinations. Visions said to come straight from the goddess Artemis herself. A sharpening wheel. Lord Fordside likely crafted his own chisels. Lord Fordside was a gifted artist, no doubt, but his work betrayed a dark and tormented soul. This unfinished fallen angel stirs in me a curious sense of unease, almost repulsion. The door is locked. I'll need to find the key. Him again. Who the bloody hell are you? This room looks like it belongs to a woman. Lady Margaret, perhaps? It's a damn fine bottle of wine. No one in their right mind would open a vintage like this and leave it abandoned, unless something rather urgent interrupted the evening. I should finish gathering all the clues from the Countess's room before exploring other parts of the house. Seems Lady Margaret was reading in the chair that evening. The book's still open, right where she left it.
This is a nightmare. I am deeply concerned for Elodie. The housekeeper has long been warning me about Walter. I have made some inquiries, and nothing is as it seems. Elodie remains blissfully happy with him in the house. I am at my wit's end. Since her return from the sanatorium, she has been positively radiant, a true beacon of light. They go out together and seem to have a splendid time. He appears very close to her. This is in stark contrast to the picture painted by the housekeeper, which is a complete contradiction.
The bed is made. The Countess hadn't yet gone to bed on the night of the murder.
Last night I heard him scream. He seemed to be in the throes of a panic attack. I approached on tiptoe to the guest quarters, and then suddenly I was struck with terror. An insane, maniacal laughter echoed through the night. It did not sound like him. The following morning, Walter and Elodie went out to sail on the pond. Everything appeared normal, and he was the most charming he has ever been.
Something made of glass has shattered here. The fireplace tools, all knocked over on the floor, and unless my eyes deceive me, the poker appears to be missing.
Oh my God, Elodie!
Lady Margaret, quite agitated, grabbed the fireplace poker and rushed toward Elodie's room. A key. Likely the one to Elodie's room. Lady Margaret lied to me. She hadn't taken any sleeping draught that night. She could have heard the attack and rushed to see what was happening. Why did she hide this from me? The more I investigate, the more convoluted it all seems. I should head to Elodie's room to search for answers. A pool of dried blood. There's no doubt now. This was the scene of the crime. A rag doll, tossed on the floor. I'd wager it used to sit neatly on the bed. Either it was knocked over in the scuffle, or perhaps Elodie dropped it herself in the panic. Photograph of Lady Fordside and Walter Brandon. If my memory serves me right, looks like it was taken at Westland Asylum. There was a struggle here, clear as day. Not a clean break-in. The killer wasn't subtle. Judging by the sheer brutality of the crime, we can almost certainly conclude the killer was a man of considerable build. The blood-stained coat, found alongside the greenhouse knife, suggests that the mysterious figure seen loitering nearby may, in fact, be the very same individual who committed the murder. They say the killer always returns to the scene of the crime. But 20 years have passed. Why now? Let's attempt to reconstruct the events, just as they might have unfolded that night, and try to understand precisely what happened. A teacup on the bedside table. Elodie must have lain down that night, perhaps already drifting to sleep. The door's lock, completely broken, indicates someone forced their way into the room, likely startling Elodie awake. Elodie tried to flee, but the killer cornered her near the vanity. She lost her balance and fell, breaking the dresser and chair. The killer dragged her to the bed against her will. In the struggle, one of the vases fell from the mantelpiece. On the bed, the killer stabbed her mercilessly, again and again, staining the sheets with blood. That's when Lady Margaret arrived, striking the killer with the fireplace poker, knocking him away from Elodie. Wounded, the killer fled the scene, but it was already too late. Elodie was already dead. The old Bloomsbury mansion. It choked my thoughts. It had that kind of sadness that seeps into your bones like old damp, and that sudden abandonment, so clear before my eyes, looked like a sinister time capsule. One thing was certain. My next move was to dig up answers about the man with the knife, and about Walter Brandon, the sailor from Westland Asylum, an old, forgotten sanatorium that, 20 years ago, was the scene of a meeting between Lady Fordside and that Brandon fellow.
Welcome to Sinisister Games, where every shadow hides a secret and every game is awaiting to unfold. Subscribe if you dare.